Hi, it's Susan from Worldpeacefull. I'm going to read you one of my poems. This one is called The Sun Frames the Picture. My introduction to it's on my blog, Peace is Our True Nature, and the introduction is, a changing universe of ideas in motion is like the potter moulding a pot. To find the space is what matters. So the sun frames the picture. The French Riviera, an Italian siesta, the Arc de Triomphe, are monuments of change, of culture. The perfect picture of an adventure, of a time where life was carefree, flowing like fine wine. Take off your dark glasses so that I can see through the disguise. The eyes tell 1,000 stories. 1,000 stories are distilled selectively as we choose what we see and see what we choose. See it and you'll believe it is the filter of present reality. Places limits on finality, defines cause and effect. But what of believing it to see it, creating a reality without limits in the sky of your dreams? Einstein was relative to the absolute. He was resolute yet astute. He was firm yet flexible. He was expansive yet lateral. He was experimental yet tactical. For his world was without boundaries. His thoughts were shooting stars between the beads of perspiration, sparkling with inspiration as he just flowed around what was not known, without resistance, but persistence and insistence that this was not real. As he opened to mirrors the illusion of time, size, speed, distance, the variables of existence appear solid, appear as a state in perpetual motion. An ocean of quarks appear dark when it's too late. Flowing down the Riviera of time. Is it the stream of life or the life in the stream, which gleams as if a reflection as the sun shines the diamonds of light? The magic of sight filters another reality of refraction, floating on the kite of thoughts in action that frame the picture, that makes sense of nature. For in truth, the molecules are vibrating in time, relative to one another, in harmony with the lover, which binds the ecosystem undercover as the energy echoes the voice of change, as the energy foreshadows a new stage. The shallows and space form the page, an endless text, for space is context. Contextualized space, smooth yet abrasive, gives orientation. Contrast and colour gives information, extends who we are, defines who you are. In the room of your dreams, you can be anything. You are everyone. You are special. You are the sun that brings warmth and light, love and sight, which shapes the world like an old potter, which fills the earth and soil, fires the kiln, oils the wheels of progress. As your luck turns, no coincidences you've learned. In the heart of your night, I feel your plight. My love is the kite, the flight of our second sight feels real tonight. So that poem was called The Sun Frames a Picture. And for some, they might think, well, what does that all mean? This is the nature of poetry. Poetry is another language. And when you allow yourself to just express without caring about what others think, you actually free yourself to express really interesting and expanding thoughts, which actually do change the world. People think they have no impact. They think they make no difference. They think they're not much or they have no power. Indeed, they do. Everyone is changing the world. But the question is, into what shape do we wish to change it? Do we want it to be a place that's run by fear, that needs to control because it doesn't trust? Or do we want to create another world where we frame another picture, where we become the sun of that enlightenment, of that new way that serves everybody? Because we are all one. And in that poem, I said, everybody, you are everybody. You are. From a higher perspective, you are. That's why you can't judge, because there's elements of all of us in each other. And we can sit there and we can blame leaders, or we can blame even the wealthy elite. We've got to really put our focus back to ourselves and start to look at where we are limiting ourselves, where we feel we have no say when we do. You've got to carve your own path. It's a little bit like the philosopher's stone. The stone kind of shape changes as you change. It's like the philosophy of life changes who you are, because you go, oh, that's who I am. Oh, and you have a realization. It actually changes your shape every time that happens. And you start to see yourself differently. When you see yourself as infinite potential, or you start to realize you can do things that you thought you couldn't, that's when you start to break through of those you break through those boundaries that have held you into a certain shape that's not you. That's why you're not happy. But once you start to breach those borders, once you start to break out of that mold, you start to see that there's an unlimitedness to what we can become. And you can do it creatively. Start creatively and experiment with that sort of freedom in creating forms, in creating pictures, or writing words like poetry. This is how you experience freedom and become it. So that was my gift to you. I hope you enjoyed it. I will post a link of the poem so that you can read it again. So take care. Bye.